And we're back. What's going on, everybody? What's up?
Chilling like a villain.
All right, we got another episode of Under Construction. As always, I'm your host, Vince Dunlap. To my left, I got Rodney, Rob Pops Richardson.
What it do, baby?
And to my right, I got Jamal, Angry Black Fan Darby.
What's up, Charlotte?
Hey, so it's another week. Another week has come. Another week is gone.
Oh, the sky is falling. Did you know that?
The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
It's over, man. It's over.
But before we get into that,
get rid of everybody.
I like to always, because I like you guys. I consider y'all my boys.
Thank you.
I consider y'all my homeboys.
Thank you, man.
So like, I want to know, like, what's going on with y'all lives outside the podcast? How's the last week been?
Go first, Jamal.
Busy, man. Just grinding and trying to stack some paper out here, man. And hopefully I won't have to do that too much longer, man, because we're gonna have like 100,000 YouTube followers, and y'all gonna start sharing our videos all over the internet, man, and y'all gonna help us out, make us famous. So hopefully I won't have to do that too much longer.
All right, what's up, Rodney? What's going on, Rodney?
Quiet weekend.
You find a new job yet? Because I know that corporate life ain't. Hey,
so hopefully this will become a full-time job in a little bit. We'll just leave it like that. Got a workout in this weekend on Saturday, cleaning up.
Oh yeah.
We'll jump into that a little later.
No doubt.
Just getting prepared for tomorrow, unfortunately.
Fortunately,
but unfortunately.
Oh, man. Yo, I saw something, because you said getting prepared about tomorrow. I saw something on Facebook. We just had a Friday the 13th, right? Mm-hmm. And Friday the 13th, you get all these Jason memes and all this stuff that goes on. Did y'all realize that starting with June, if you take the first letter of every month from June to November, it's actually spells out Jason? It actually spells Jason.
I discovered that.
That's kind of creepy.
It's very creepy.
I have a friend named Jason, and for some reason I looked at it, I was like, June, April, September, October, November.
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap,
June.
Jason, yeah.
No, July.
I'm sorry. July, August.
He said June, April. He said June. What type of night did you have last night, Jamal?
Hey, where's my caffeine at, man? Because, God, I'm all over the place.
Man, Florida State does this to you.
Oh, yeah.
You got one more time, man. You got one more time, Rodney.
All right, but look, y'all, we're gonna hop into this. We got a lot to talk about. Panthers coming off another loss. We even found a way to even throw some Hornets talk in there this week, and we're gonna talk about the little community group project that me and Rodney participated in this weekend. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So a couple of days ago on Thursday, the Panthers, they showed up to Bank of America Stadium as a 0-1 team.
They showed up?
They showed up.
Okay.
Was this before or after the delay?
This was actually before the delay. They were there. Well, there are a lot of people there wearing Carolina Panthers jerseys, is what I would say, on the field. And we were watching people throw the football and try to run and stuff like that.
There was actually 2 events at Bank of America Stadium.
You know what? And it's funny because we haven't been seeing it that much.
Yeah, because for some reason I haven't seen it broadcast.
I don't know, man.
Because there was a UFC fight club in the stadium too,
exactly.
man. And
rumor has it they come from Gastonia.
They came from Gastonia. I don't know. Do they play country music in Gastonia?
Oh, yo. All kinds of
maybe that's what it was, man. Too much country music. But let's get to the football, man. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers walked in the Bank of America Stadium and said, "Screw your couch," all over the Carolina Panthers. Now, when I was watching the game, I tried to jot down a few notes as I was watching. So I'm gonna recite some stuff to kind of like jog you guys' memories, and I'm gonna just let you guys go with your thoughts. Okay,
bring the pain.
The first thing, Cam Newton completed just under 50% of his passes. Somehow, still managed to throw for over 300 yards and still get blamed for the game. Cam Newton. CMC, he was pretty much held in check all night. Body language was just wasn't good. One positive, well, actually I go 2 positives. Greg Olsen as well as Joey Sly, who actually went 4 for 4 on field goals, which is doggone pretty good. So play got suspended. I don't think the weather was the real reason that play got suspended. I think because the game was kind of boring. I think they suspended it intentionally so that everybody would be had a front row view for the UFC fight that took place.
Or it could be because of the security outside that couldn't get people in the game fast enough, because I was one of the people who missed the first 8 minutes of the game because I was standing in line because our slow security couldn't get people through there.
And we
might had that problem in the ACC championship.
We might try and bring that up too later on.
Boy.
But
I mean, that $100 parking made me agitated too.
But so without throwing any more stuff out there, because I want to see what you guys have to say without my biased comments. For one, give me one word to describe last Thursday's game.
Missed opportunities.
That's two words. Do that again.
Rodney.
Let's do.
Missed opportunities.
Okay. All right. So we'll just hyphenate that. We'll just hyphenate missed opportunities.
Okay.
We'll hyphenate.
Okay, I'll change it up. Typical.
All right.
Dysfunctional.
Now that's a strong word. That's a strong. All right. Go.
Again, dysfunctional. Everyone was bad. Now, our quarterback, of course, is going to be the hot topic. He's going to get the majority of the blame. He's going to get he's going to shoulder all the blame, no pun intended. But everyone was bad. Ron was bad. Norv was worse. Darrell Williams was god awful. The offensive line was bad. The secondary was bad outside of James Bradbury. When I say dysfunctional, they didn't look prepared on either side of the ball. Now, the defense looked a little better than the offense because the defense got stops. And it's the same story. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again, man. They're just on the field too much, man, because offense didn't really put together too many drives. And then when they did, they didn't get in the end zone. You know what I mean? So I say dysfunctional, especially offensively, because I don't know what's wrong with Cam. I'm not. I wish we were closer to the team to really get a feel of what's going on with him. Vince, you're looking more and more like a prophet every week, dude, because I look at Cam Thursday and I just say to myself, like, maybe it is a good idea if he sat this season out.
Yeah.
Without really knowing any strong details. We don't know if it's shoulder. Off camera, we had a conversation about it, maybe even being a mental thing. We had a conversation about the Panthers possibly trying to turn Cam Newton into something he might not be. I know I'm getting kind of long-winded, but one more point I want to make is, we're seeing maybe Norv and the Panthers trying to turn Cam Newton into like this pocket passer and this guy. But if you want to turn Cam Newton into a pocket passer, you got to protect him. Number one, you got to protect him.
Yeah.
Number two, it might not work because we know that Cam is a rhythm type of quarterback. He's a very different type of quarterback. When Cam Newton is running all over the place and he's being him, so to speak, and he's controlling the game instead of something else controlling him, he's a different quarterback. And I don't think this plan that they have for Cam Newton is sustainable.
And it's interesting that you say that because we're talking about how the Panthers are trying to make Cam Newton into a pocket passer quarterback. And one criticism that I've always had of the Panthers since Cam Newton has got here, he has never had an offensive coordinator who fully understands and appreciates his unique skill set.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the game on Thursday, Jameis Winston, I think we all can agree, has not lived up to expectations coming out of Florida State.
Right.
However, Jameis Winston played this past Thursday close to what I expected to see from him coming out of Florida State.
Man, the whole game, where the section I was sitting at, the entire game, everyone around me was like, Jameis is going to give us one. Jameis is going to give us one. He never gave us one. And
he almost did.
He almost did. Yeah. Almost, but almost doesn't count. But
and who his offensive coordinator is this season now? Byron Leftwich,
right.
Who is somebody who, even though he wasn't as much as a runner, he has a similar skill set,
right.
and understands Winston's abilities a lot more.
Right.
And now because the NFL is set up the way the NFL is, Arians will get the credit for Winston's turnaround.
Right,
okay, because the NFL loves country music. Read in between the lines, y'all. But I see this as a direct result. I Pick your head up, Ronnie. I see this as a direct result of Byron Leftwich coming in and being the offensive coordinator. And as long as Winston can stay out of trouble, and I really hate to say that, but with his career, it is what it is.
Right.
As long as Winston can stay out of trouble, I think you are going to see a much more improved Winston in comparison to what we saw Thursday night.
I agree.
But here's the only thing about, now we're not going to spend too much time talking about James Winston.
Yeah, no doubt.
I just want to, the point I want to quickly,
all the disappointment.
Yeah, seriously. But the point I want to quickly make is we played so bad that I don't know if that is sustainable for the Bucs as far as them being a winning product with them playing like that, because it was pretty conservative. You get what I'm saying? It was almost like a game plan for them to not mess up. Gotcha. And I don't know how far the Bucs can go with that, but that's as much as I want to say about the Bucs. So,
all right, Rodney. So give me your thoughts on the game in general from a Panthers perspective.
Hard, ain't it?
I want to be thoughtful in this response.
No. This is a fan-led podcast.
Express yourself.
We are all about emotion. So say it with your chest.
When I said typical, it's just a typical Ron Rivera type of game. Is underachieving.
Like Groundhog's Day.
It's Groundhog Day. It's underachieving. The offense not living up to its full potential. It's the same story. Like, hey, the offensive line is not protecting Cam Newton, which is typical. It's through his whole tenure here.
It's been that way.
It's been that way,
except for like one season. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not even then. I mean, he was. See, when I look at Cam, I don't see the joy in his face anymore.
Yeah, agreed.
That's alarming.
That's very alarming. I mean, because I just saw Andrew Luck retire. Like,
right.
Cam, his personality is very infectious, and when he's having fun, the team is rolling.
Yep.
And that's the problem. Like, I don't see the passion of what they're playing.
And that kind of speaks to a point of him being a rhythm player. That ties into that. You get what I'm saying? And on these press conferences, man, he looks defeated, man.
Yep.
And that's...
He looks like he's in the Mary J. Blige, I'm not going to cry video. Got the headscarf on and everything, man. Come on, bro.
And I honestly think the Panthers trying to make him into a pocket passer is playing into that, because he cannot be who he truly is.
You know what? I'm with the philosophy. We're gonna ride Christian McCaffrey till the wheels fall off. Goddamn it, do the same thing with Cam.
Yep.
If he plays until he's 34, 35 years old, get the best you can get out of him. Have a contingency plan, which you supposedly have in Will Greer, and just keep it moving.
Because this isn't working. Like,
no, this is not working.
Their plan for Cam Newton or whatever that may be.
Now I have a question for you guys. Okay. In your opinion, is Ron Rivera in the hot seat? Did he come into the season?
No. That seat is warm. That seat is a little warm now. I don't think you're going to see any mid-season firings or nothing like that. I think we're going to. This season is going to play out. You best believe that seat is a little warm.
Here's why I'm laughing at that question. I have wanted Ron Rivera out for at least the last 5 years.
Y'all terrible.
However,
three for me.
Longer than that. However, when I have mentioned that I have not been a true fan of Ron Rivera, it's always been met with criticism. And now,
2-time coach of the year.
Yeah, all of that crap. And it's like now it's almost like the fan base has to wait until it is blatant before, like, okay, maybe we need to start looking for another coach. And granted, everyone now sees that he's on the hot seat, which is cool, but we're doing this in year 9 of the Cam Newton experiment, and we're going to kind of bleed over into the Hornets here. But when you look at the way that the Panthers have treated Cam Newton, he has never truly had an offensive line. He has never had a great receiving core. His receiving core this year is full of 2-year players.
Yeah,
they're full of 2-year players.
It's still probably the best he's had.
Which shows how bad he's had it.
And let me discuss another alarming trend. And because I said this 3 weeks ago during the preseason, all the interviews I heard from players, we're gonna be all right. It's just we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be all right, man. It's just we're here in the preseason. We're gonna work out the kinks, and they never looked impressive in the preseason. And what we're seeing is a carryover.
Yep.
Not only a carryover from preseason, but a carryover from last season. Yep. So look, man. I haven't been as hard on Ron Rivera as y'all have been, but I'm almost in the club. Like, I'm at the door. I'm knocking.
To me, at this point, I know Cam is the go-to guy with the criticism, maybe it's just the voice in the locker room that hasn't been able to motivate these guys like it was in the past.
Yeah, right. And let me say this about Cam Newton, man. And good Lord, this Charlotte fan base, boy, I love and hate y'all at the same time, boy. I'm gonna try my best to not be angry black fan right now. There are a lot of y'all that are really enjoying like Cam Newton's, I'm not gonna say demise, but his struggles.
Yeah.
He wears crazy shit. We know that.
Quite frankly, I don't care.
I really don't care. It's just, the thing is, like, as a Charlotte fan base, y'all know how we are. We're gonna hop off a boat quicker than most fan bases. It's a lot of us that are just done with Cam already. We don't want to see if he's hurt. We don't want to see if he's mentally if he's going through things. Y'all are already off the boat. It's still week 2, y'all. Let me repeat that. It is still week 2. There are some alarming trends going on. I get that. It is still a very long season. And the one thing, the reason why that I'm so pissed at people jumping off Cam Newton, you can say whatever you want to about the guy. But one thing you cannot question about Cam Newton is his competitiveness. That dude is a competitive dude who wants to win. He looks defeated because we are losing. He does not like losing. He does not like what's going on. I just don't see how everybody can hop off the boat like that, man.
Honestly, to me, is I can acknowledge his shortcomings right now, but I cannot forget what he's done for this franchise.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get why everybody's
and it's like in my opinion, we made the Super Bowl in spite of having Mike Shula as the head coordinator.
Right.
He's countless. He was the offense. He was the whole offense for years and years and years. And honestly, to be quite honest with you, I see this as his body probably is breaking down a little bit.
Now,
and this is a hot take. He's had his career arc to me is like a running back because we use him as a freaking running back. He's taking all this punishment because we haven't put an adequate offensive line around him the whole time. And this is what you're going to see.
Ironically, right at age 30, 31.
31.
Right.
Is when the running back starts.
And then you look at all these running quarterbacks. All these franchises are basically practicing malpractice. The Colts. Luck got punished because he was a little bit mobile. I look at my boy in Houston right now. Deshaun Watson should not be hit this much. But you're not protecting your most valuable asset.
Right.
And it's just crazy to me. If he was a statue standing in the pocket.
I think Houston would be a little bit of an outlier because I want to say it was Matt Schaub. I want to say it was Matt Schaub, but I think in his one season, and there was one season in Houston, I think he was hit like something like 78 times or whatnot. So even with Deshaun Watson taking a lot of hits, like they never really had a good offensive line as well.
But once you're proven to have a franchise type quarterback, you need to make that investment to get that offensive line around him.
And what's going on?
You need to be protected like Brady's protected.
And Aaron Rodgers if we want to keep the mobile QB there.
Because what's going on is like now they're trying their best to quote unquote protect Cam, but they're going about it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of protecting him and going about it the wrong way, with us being Hornets fans, when the game is on the line for the last 8 years or so, no matter the situation, no matter how many shots he's made or missed,
know who's shooting the ball.
The ball has to go to Kemba Walker,
right?
No matter what.
Right.
Using that same narrative with the Panthers, it's 4th and 1. You're down 1 score. You have a quarterback who is 6'5", 245 pounds. I want you guys to try and justify not only giving the ball to CMC, but putting Cam out in the flanker position. Like, help me out. How do we do that?
You want to take this one first? Because man, listen.
It was a missed opportunity. I felt confident in North's call.
You a lie.
I'm just the head coach. I can't overturn those calls. Honestly, I don't know. McCaffrey was bottled up basically the whole game. They shut him out the whole night. I'm alluding to a conversation I had with the producer. Maybe they were thinking, hey, If McCaffrey could get the first down, it's not a first and goal on the 1 yard line. The clock is still running. We don't have any timeouts left. We'll just let it go like that. Cool. I still don't get it.
Yeah.
Like 4th and 1. I've seen plenty of times where you fake the handoff and threw it to Olsen for the quick 5-6 yard game. Why not do that? Or
who had 112 yards that game?
Or you have a fullback on the roster for a reason named Alex Armour. Use him as the lead blocker for CMC. Oh, you have another running back on the bench, Jordan Scarlett. Use him. He's a bruising type of back. I just don't get the play calling. Why do you throw the ball 51 times for a quarterback coming off a shoulder injury? I just don't get it. It's just crazy.
So I'm gonna go a different direction with the first thing I'm gonna say. Can somebody explain to me why we got rid of C.J. Anderson again? Can we revisit that? Because anyway, let's move on. So ironically, I'm actually sitting behind the end zone when that play was called.
Rich.
So I saw. Shut up, man. I saw everything developing right. So I'm looking at McCaffrey, in the direct snap position. I'm seeing Cam flanked out, and the guy next to me was like, "This is going to McCaffrey." I swear to God, I looked at it, I said, "This is going to McCaffrey." When I tell you, everybody who has ever looked at and studied football knew exactly where that play was going. Vince, I can't justify it. I have no recourse. I have nowhere to go with this because I don't know, man. I don't know if Norv really thought he was going to fool the Tampa Bay Bucs defense with the formation and with the play call.
And you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned defense because there's a conversation that needs to be had right now. There's a certain player on the Panthers roster that when he came over here during the offseason, we were like, oh my God, this defense is about to be so great. However, the defensive line that he left in the offseason looked like the Steel Curtain defense this past Thursday, okay?
Let me tell you something. I mean to cut you off because this needs to be said. Man, when I tell you the Bucs, both lines kicked both of our lines ass the entire game. Mm-hmm. Daryl Williams had, Rodney Richardson could have blocked better than Daryl Williams that game, man.
He stopped moving his feet once he made contact.
It was a turnstile. It was just a turnstile the entire night, man.
Daryl Williams is not a left tackle.
Let me tell you something, man. Greg Little, he better be ready to play next Sunday. There's no way you can walk Daryl Williams out there next week after
this. This is your job for the taking.
It has to be. It has to be.
So considering the amount of pressure that the defensive line got on Cam Newton this past Thursday, and considering the lack of pressure that our defensive line got on Jameis Winston on Thursday, if we go back to the Warren Sapp comments earlier about Gerald McCoy, is Warren Sapp a lot more validated now?
I hate saying anything positive about Warren Sapp. But damn it, he looks right now.
No comment.
I'm ready.
All right, so listen now. We're at a loss of words right now, so we're gonna take a break and go find those words, and we'll be right back. All right, y'all. We are back. Hopefully, we're able to find those words. We're gonna switch it over to our lovable Hornets, our lovable mediocre 10th pick picking Hornets. Okay, so we haven't talked about the Hornets in a while. One of the things we pride ourselves on.
Trying to depress me on a Sunday?
Trying
to depress me?
Hey, well, I don't know. We're gonna see what happens though. But I know we one of the things we pride ourselves on this podcast is we don't want to just talk about something for the sake of the fact that it's there to be talked about. Gotcha. However, the Hornets gave us a few things to talk about this week, so we're going to get started. So one of those things, James Borrego as well as Mitch Kupchak, they've made their. Would you say this is the first any type of press release in the off season?
It's the first time we got any indication of the direction, which is maybe a few months late.
Yeah.
But
you think?
But I mean, the Hornets social media team got us covered.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that are listening, for those of you guys that are watching that might not be in the win, a few notes from the article done by the Charlotte Observer. One, James Borrego said that the team would not go. They are not willing to say rebuild, but the word is transition,
which is Rebuilding Spanish.
also, and I absolutely love this line that I'm about to say right here because I've said this during the season. I said this after Kemba Walker left, and I got roasted for it. And it like I feel like I need to be on 333 East Trade, but we'll talk about that later.
We all
do.
During this interview,
you don't be taking credit by yourself, man. We all do, man.
Mitch Kupchak said, if there's a master plan, is to transition from a team built around a superstar to a team built around our young players and style of play. Essentially saying they're going to do a youth movement, okay? JB or Coach Borrego also made mention that salaries will not play a part in who gets to play this year, which I'm going to kind of call BS on because towards the end of the season, Nick and Marvin were still getting heavy minutes, even though their numbers are just. I think they got more minutes than what they should have gotten. But so what do you guys think? You've seen some of the reaction from the fan base. We've had conversation with a few others. So what do you guys think about the Borrego interview?
It was Borrego and Kupchak. One thing that stood out to me with Kupchak said basically we had Kemba. It was his job to lead us into the playoffs. He couldn't do it. We couldn't justify paying him the money, and I understood it. And
someone on this podcast has mentioned that, but sorry for cutting you off.
And I completely understood it. Yeah. I mean, we were going nowhere in a hurry, and I like I said, I completely understand the direction. He alluded to the fact that the offers that we were getting for Kemba at the trade deadline was basically a protected first round pick, which wouldn't have been enough. Should have traded him the year before, but he wasn't really technically here a year before, whatever. So I understood the thought decision behind letting him walk and then getting the asset back in Rozier, and they basically said, "Hey, we didn't see anybody with the mid-level exception we wanted." And I'm like, it seems like he has a plan that he's not disclosing to us, but there's a plan there. And then one other thing that stood out to me is they're going to use the cap space for dumping grounds, which means basically we take chances on young players in the future and get first round picks for that. So he has a plan. Next year, when all the space runs out, I'm so interested to see what they do.
How they use it.
How they use all that money. Hey, take a bad hey, give us 2 first round picks. Or give us a first round pick.
And I'm sorry to keep constantly throwing this stuff in y'all's face. I'm not trying to make myself seem like some savant or anything like that. But that as I was reading that article, like the muscles in my face started hurting because I was cheesing from ear to ear so hard. Like this is what I've been saying all off season.
Yeah.
Now I got 2 more questions, but before I go there, I'm gonna let Jamal go. So Jamal, give me your thoughts on the article.
So about 2-3 weeks ago, we had Mr. Jerry Valancourt on this show.
Jerry V, baby.
And there was a host on this particular show that said, I want the Hornets to not necessarily go for patchwork signings and trades and panic trades. And I said, I want the Hornets to start doing things to build a sustainable future. I want everybody to go click on this article right damn now and see what Mitch Kupchak said. He basically said the exact same thing I said 3 weeks ago. We are going to build a program that is going to develop our young players. He also mentioned if our young players are not getting at least getting minutes in real games, they're going to be in the G League.
Yep.
Greensboro.
Hello. This is not what we've been screaming all off season. Have we not said this same thing? And look, they said something that was going to piss a lot of casual fans off. Kupchak basically alluded to say we're not going to chase the big fish in free agency,
which I absolutely love.
But that's what I'm getting to. We were not in position to get the big fish anyway. Let me explain this for the 1500th time if I didn't say it enough already. In order for the Hornets to quote unquote get the big names, so to speak, you have to have a foundation. If you do not have a strong foundation already in place, you have no chance to get the marketable big names on this team. The Hornets are finally, thank God, they are finally looking like they are getting it. They have the foundation in place to start building a sustainable future.
I got a quick question for you guys. Who has more wins by Thanksgiving, the Hornets or the Panthers?
My money's on the Hornets right now, man.
I'm going to go with the Hornets just because it's what you're supposed to say. The fact that that's a question is that shows how depressing it is to be a Charlotte sports fan.
Hey, man, there's a black cat running around trading Mitch.
I swear, man.
Now, in the same article, there was a statement made. I can't remember if Borrego made it or Mitch made it, so maybe you guys can correct me. I'm not exactly sure if I make this statement. I think I keep this to myself, but I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to let you guys run with it, okay? So, Jamal, how did you feel about when they said that the team was shocked? No, the word was blindsided. The team was blindsided by Kemba Walker making the All-Star team.
It was the All-NBA.
Oh, was it All-NBA?
All-NBA.
Okay,
team.
so how would you feel?
Because as it relates to Supermax.
Yeah, contract. Exactly. Now, and again, I am sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
However, when the negotiations were going on, I specifically remember saying that, like, I think they were surprised by doing so because it increased what they could possibly pay him, which made that gap a lot bigger when they offered what they did offer.
No, you're spot on because actually you and Rodney both said the same thing. Like, they probably didn't really want that to happen, which is sad, but it's the truth, man. And but
would you have made that statement?
I wouldn't have made that statement because it's a bad look. It looks bad when your general manager say, "Oh man, we were surprised that he's better than what he is." Like, there's some things that are just better left unsaid. But I'm gonna say this again, man. Sometimes the stars align, and sometimes things happen for the better. You get what I'm saying? Mitch also said, how can we promise Kemba Walker we're going to go to the playoffs? Like, how can we promise that? So with that being said, man, again, I've said this ad nauseum 1,000 times, man. Sometimes things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear them finally kind of alluding to we need to truly build something instead of just throwing money around, signing these guys who are not really difference makers. It all happens for a reason. But with all that being said, if Jamal Darby's the general manager, I probably don't say that.
Okay, what you got, Rodney?
It speaks to some of the shortcomings of our front office.
Okay.
The lack of forecasting.
Okay, I can see that.
Me, if I'm a general manager and I know that we have this asset right here, and he's coming up soon. We can't extend him reasonably because that's way under his value. We've already got him undervalued for this long.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
What comes next? Okay, he's going to be an all-star. He might be an all-star. Okay, this is his ceiling. Okay, so if he makes it, so his max is 190. Okay, so somehow he makes the super max is 220 or 250, whatever it is. And so you had to have that planned out. Okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this to get this, and this, and this. Or if he makes this, we need to pivot to do this, and this, and this. And so maybe it's that Mitch wasn't here that long. And it also speaks to one of a flaw in his strength. He can be brutally honest to the point where it's like, you shouldn't have said that.
You should have said that.
And so I value the honesty.
True.
But some things are better left unsaid.
Some things better left unsaid.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what's ironic about that statement? It's almost like the Kemba Walker leaving forced them to finally get some foresight and to finally plan. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I made my statement. Sometimes the stars align for the better because it finally forces the Hornet organization to say, you know what, man, we don't really have a lot of recourse as far as getting good right away. You get what I'm saying?
So with this statement, staying on this statement, they were blindsided by Kemba Walker making All NBA. Do you think admitting a statement like that justifies some of the fans in criticizing the Hornets not being able to operate from a business standpoint, namely Michael Jordan?
It honestly it does.
Okay.
like I said, like if it was a different type of front office, they would have basically had things planned out a little better. Like if Kemba was averaging 25, 26 points a game in January, you're like, oh man, he was voted an all-star starter. This is a legit possibility.
Yeah.
Like I understand if you recognized it late, but you still recognized it. Oh, we need to pivot, or man, we probably need to pull the trigger on one of these trades to get a valuable young asset or something like that. But I mean, what's done is done, honestly, and fans bitching and complaining at this point isn't helping the cause.
It's par for the course anyway. It wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't honestly matter. But honestly, I think they heard the cries of the fans. Not the cries, but they heard a lot of the stuff. And to be honest with you, I think they're out of touch with a lot of stuff. The social media team, the front office, and everything like that. I just think that they operate with an old school mentality.
I'll agree with that.
And social media has given people more access into things, like it allows for organizations to have more transparency. You can have less transparency when you're winning, but if you're putting a bad product out there, we want to know why. What's your plan?
I disagree with that slightly. Here's why. Because let's rewind 2 seasons ago when there were rumors of Kemba Walker being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Cleveland was offering us picks and stuff. I think they heard the murmurs of Charlotte's fan base, because Kemba Walker, sentimental favorite, and this is coming from me. Yeah, y'all know how I feel about my boy, my UConn Charlotte Hornet boy. It's something I didn't want to see at that point, but honestly, it probably would have been better for us. But the point I'm trying to make was, I honestly believe they don't pull that trade because of the outrage from Hornets fans.
But that was under the different general manager too. And honestly, I think if Kupchak was here and he got that deal,
I'm with you.
He's pulling that trigger.
Now I agree on that point. I agree on that point.
He's like, he would be like, well, this is the best opportunity for us to win in the future. I'm in it for the future, not for now.
Now, this just popped in my head. Okay, let's say we pull that trade. Let's say we send Kemba to Cleveland and we bring in Kevin Love, who has been a shell of himself.
It wasn't Love. It was basically we weren't taking back Love. It was like, no, we weren't. We was like George Hill.
I don't remember the details.
We would because they were trying to make that run.
Okay, well
so that Isaiah Thomas and bad contract.
That would actually solidify the question I'm about to ask you. If we trade Kemba away to Cleveland, who wasn't doing anything, and we take Hill and all those guys, would that have validated Steven Jackson's criticism from a month ago when he was here with the Big Three tournament?
No.
Don't think so?
A strong no.
Because we would have taken our franchise player, the best player we've had since basketball has came back to Charlotte.
But in the long run, he would have been put in a better position because he was going to the Cleveland Cavaliers team that eventually went to the finals. So, and he would have had at least 1 year max with them left. And so he would have been in the better position for himself. So it's not like we're trading him to Phoenix.
And see, I think we're talking. I think the reason we were confused earlier is because we were talking different trade scenarios. Because even after LeBron James left, there was still trade scenario rumors that following season.
Right. But let me answer your Steven Jackson question. Let me say this again. A very strong, absolutely hell no. I love what Steven Jackson brought to us, except for the time he shot the ball with 19 seconds left on the doggone shot clock. Anyway, but as far as his statements go, Steven Jackson has been in the league a long time. He knows it's a business at the end of the day. I don't see why he took that so personal, even with his personal situation as it related to Kemba Walker. You get what I'm saying?
Tell you why I think he took it personal.
Why?
Because basically, to him, he thought the team was good enough to compete. And Jordan was like, nah, man, y'all ceiling is a 7 seed. So let me go ahead and break this up and start all over again. But
even with that being said, he's still contradictory, because I've actually heard him on another interview saying, I knew that the Hornets' money was messed up. That's his words. So he even knew why the
Yeah.
Bobcats then made that trade. So I don't understand why he's in his feelings about this, man.
At the end of the day, Jackson getting traded away and all those guys, it was a business decision.
Yeah.
It was business. But speaking of business, everyone's beloved owner, Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, made another business decision these last couple of days, and he decided to sell a portion of the team while simultaneously keeping majority control of the organization, how it runs, and the player personnel.
Move.
So, give me guys' thought on that.
This is a cash play.
Okay.
It's leverage.
Okay.
When we start competing, this will make it more easier for us to go over the luxury tax because we have a partner. He would have a partner that's able to help him pay the luxury tax because we talked about this before in the podcast. Michael Jordan is by far not the richest owner in the NBA. Charlotte is breaking even, making profits barely at best. This also brings another voice in. It can help us on the business side with innovations and things of that nature. And don't panic, we're not moving nowhere.
Right.
We're not moving to New York. That market is oversaturated. We're not about to be the New Jersey Queen Bees or
Now,
the Seattle.
To add some meat and potatoes to that before I let you get it, Jamal, Rodney mentioned that Michael is nowhere near one of the richest owners in the league. The richest owner in the league is Steve Ballmer out there with the Clippers, who's worth $44.5 billion.
Jesus Christ.
And meanwhile, our very own Michael Jordan, first ever African American owner, first ever former player owner, is coming in at a whopping $1.9 billion. So Jamal, go ahead and take it from there.
Boss move.
Okay.
Absolutely boss move. Now, the casual fans, it's not gonna.
So disappointed.
It's not gonna resonate. It's not gonna move the needle because it doesn't really mean too much on the basketball side. It really doesn't. You get what I'm saying? The two guys that are going to be owners along with Michael are not basketball guys. You get what I'm saying? These are venture capitalist tech guys who have deep pockets. But to kind of steal some of Rodney's points, Michael Jordan, I guess, solicited these guys because, they could offer like innovative ideas around technology.
They're investors.
They're investors. And they could make like the in-game experience better. They have ideas as far as how to build the brand, so to speak. Now, again, that's kind of disappointing to a lot of fans who want basketball guys and who are really disappointed that Michael said, I'm going to maintain control over basketball stuff. But at the same time, man, as a business move, it is an absolutely brilliant, in my opinion, business move. And I want to give y'all two props again for something. Because we were talking about how the Brooklyn Nets, Miguel Prokhorov, deep as his pockets were, he also gave up some ownership or sold some ownership in the Nets. Now, not to say this was a direct result of that, but you see the situation they're in now.
Yeah, agreed.
It obviously worked out in their favor. You get what I'm saying?
Negro Damas.
Right.
So
hopefully the same fortune happens for the Hornets.
I'm going to read a tweet, and I want you guys to just go. All right? Just want you guys to just respond, okay?
Oh boy, here we go.
You stirring the pot today.
In regards to Michael Jordan selling a portion of the team to the Hornets, it was said on Twitter, if anything, this just reaffirms that the Hornets were a business decision for Jordan, not a passion project. He bought the team low and is selling a portion of it when the value of NBA teams is high.
Ronnie, go first.
Okay, so honestly, I think this is Michael Jordan recognizing, hey, my pockets really aren't that deep. I'm making a profit, but I'm not maximizing my profit.
Can you stop making sense, please?
And so I can see this as a whole kind of business reset. We were setting the roster. We were setting with the new ownership. Hey, we're going to add this to the fan experience to make this better. We're going to add this to make the player experience better. We want to become a true destination for the players. And so I understand it like that. That's where I'm coming from. Like, more ears in the CFO, CEO meetings are better than just Michael Jordan, I have to say so. So it's better. Like, you just don't own a team because you're not passionate about it. Like, you have to have some type of passion for it. Like, Michael Jordan.
Isn't this what the fans wanted?
The fans don't know what the hell they want.
No, the fans wanted MJ to own 45% and this new guy to own 55%, and Michael Jordan just be the figurehead. That's what they wanted.
Whoa, really?
Angry black fan, what you got?
Rodney, I really appreciate that logical, sensible,
somebody's gonna die. Somebody's gonna tear me up for it.
and intelligent response. I'm not gonna be as intelligent and sensible about this. I don't know how many times I have to have personal conversations with people about Michael Jordan and his passion as an owner. I don't know if y'all were born before 1990 or whatever. I can't count how many times I've had to say this again. This dude is the most competitive man that anybody has ever met.
You just don't lose it overnight.
You just don't lose that. It's a part of who he is. There are people who still don't understand and who still don't get the concept of running a basketball team is not the easiest thing in the world to do. And just because you have mishaps, mistakes, bad fortune, whatever you want to call the Hornet situation, whatever you think that is, it does not mean you don't care. There are still people who do not have a fundamental understanding of how the business of basketball works. Vince just told y'all the high guy has $44 billion. Michael is the low guy with like 1.9. These two investors helped that situation to help the Hornets possibly have more leverage and have more ground to get better players. And y'all are still going to damn complain. This fan base makes me want to pull this little bit of hair I have out when it talks about this guy. What the hell is wrong with y'all sometimes, man?
And to be honest with you, man, God, I'm going to take it somewhere else. Look, for Michael Jordan to be worth $1.9 billion, he's born in 1963. Black people did not have the right to vote in 1963. Still being redlined and everything like that. For him to be worth $1.9 billion is a hell of a job.
Y'all know what somebody's going to say, right? Y'all know what's going to happen.
I don't care.
You know what's going to happen, right? Somebody who doesn't know how the salary cap works. Oh, so they got more money to go get Kevin Durant now, right?
Well, look, at the end of the day, y'all, with Michael Jordan, quasi only caring about his money, by bringing more people in, as they continue to make more profit, he actually gets less money because he has to now divvy that money up with 3 people. But we'll see how this goes in the future. So we got to go pay some more bills, and we'll be right back, y'all. All right?
Roaches. Got to get roaches out.
Got to get the roaches out.
All right, here we go, y'all. So we're back for our last segment. This is a little impromptu culture segment that we're going to do. So for those of you guys that have been keeping up with Under Construction and watched last week's episode, first and foremost, thank you guys for watching and thanks for the support. But you guys will remember that I did a piece on a situation going on here in Charlotte at a cemetery out off of Beatties-Ford Road. Yeah. Long story short, there's a cemetery out there called Cedar Grove, and it's an African American cemetery, and it's been out there since about the 1950s, Rodney, 1850s. It's been out there since the 1850s. So long story short, I started I don't want to say a movement, but I got some friends.
Call it a movement, man.
I got some friends that come out there, and we did some cleanup. And Rodney was one of the ones that came out there. So I'm gonna shut up, and I'm gonna just let Rodney speak on the entire situation. And Jamal, I know you weren't out there, but feel free to ask your questions because it was a pretty ugly situation.
So we got out there, and the land was completely dilapidated. It's sad that the city let this get out of hand. I looked up some information. The property is owned by the Cedar Grove Management Company, and there's a rule in North Carolina, something like that if a property is abandoned like that, the city takes control.
Yep.
And the city has let this down. You have veterans buried out there.
Yep.
And thank you we're going to the people that are out there. we're going to reach out to some of the veterans people to get some assistance as well. We walked out there, man. We saw used condoms, drug paraphernalia, pants, drugs, all types of stuff, and it's right next to a school. That is a dangerous situation. I'm pretty sure kids walk to school every day. Somebody could drag those kids in the woods. You won't be able to find them.
And here's one of the worst things about it. As we were out there cleaning up, there were people who actually live in the neighborhood that were walking up and they were asking us, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we would say, "Hey, we're cleaning up the cemetery." And they're like, "What cemetery?"
Wow.
And we're like, "There's a cemetery right here." So it was so bad that people in the neighborhood didn't even know that it was a cemetery. And I'll say one more thing before I let you guys go. Rodney was speaking to some of the graves and the poor condition that they're in. You know, when you see a headstone, you know how you see the person's name, you see the birthday, the day that they died. There may be some sort of scripture and their contribution to society. There's a few headstones that they were World War II veterans and all that good stuff, right? But we couldn't even see the date of their death. Because there was the ground had grown so much since the 70s, and it was just like we were out there cleaning up, and about 2 or 3 hours into it, I was like, "Yo, we've done a lot of work." This and it was looking great, and I was feeling pretty proud of myself. And there's this trail off to the left that lets you see more of the cemetery. So I said, "You know what? Let me go and walk this trail just to see what it looks like." And as I walked the trail, I damn near started crying.
It was so much trash. It was graves. It was grave sites that we couldn't even see with the naked eye. We had to go and look, and there are literally graves still back there that if we went out there every Saturday, it'd probably take almost 2 years.
Yeah, if we went out there every Saturday with the tools that we had, we would be at this for a good year or two.
We had chainsaws. We had a truck to carry all the garbage and debris, and that still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So we need to galvanize the Charlotte community to reach out to the city politicians and the county boards and everything like that to actually do something about this. Because I'm just about to say something that's not even shocking. If this was in Valentine, this was in South Park, the graves would not be in this condition.
And it's sad that you mentioned that, because for those of you that don't know or aren't in the know as far as this situation, there's a man who's been leading this charge, trying to get people to come out there and clean up for over a year now. And his name is Lee Johnson, and he was telling us some of the things that he's witnessed over the last year or so. He told me there's a story. There's this lady, I can't remember what side of town that she lived on, but she went to go visit her dad's gravesite. And she goes to visit the gravesite, and there's like 4 or 5 leaves on the gravesite. So rather than remove the leaves off of the gravesite, which most likely is what I would do, she left in a fit of rage, called whoever she called, and complained about there being leaves out there. Not only were they out there within a day to clean the leaves off the gravesite, the news came out there and reported as well. Meanwhile, we have trees literally growing where there are bodies resting at.
Knocking down tombstones and everything.
First and foremost, man, props to y'all. I hate I couldn't make it out there, man. Just life calls, man, and I truly couldn't make it out there. So, number one, man, much props to y'all for bringing attention to this, man, and bringing it to the forefront, man. And obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. Second of all, I can't express enough my disgust for the quote unquote property management or lack thereof. My disgust for the city of Charlotte for allowing this to happen, and God knows how long this has been going on. I went on, I think it was your Facebook page, and I was looking at the video and the pictures, man, and I saw, and I'm like, man, I'm not by far like a landscape expert, but I'm pretty sure a tree is not supposed to be growing right next to a grave. And it's heartbreaking, man. And I just, I had to personalize it and think to myself, like, man, if that was one of my loved ones' gravesite out there, man, I don't know what I do, dude. I really don't know how I would react, man. And hopefully, you know, if not us or somebody can speak to maybe some family members, you know, of these buried loved ones, man, because, you know, y'all know my favorite saying is the optics look bad, man, and just to kind of
what if I told you that there are family members of those of some of those buried in that cemetery living in that very same neighborhood,
man. I'm gonna say this, man. Just kind of speak to the same thing Rodney spoke to, man. Why is it when it comes to the west side of town, or let's just be blunt, the black side of town, you know, when everybody's ready to make it better, so to speak, things get done really quickly. When something is being gentrified, things get improved very, very, very quickly. But when there's no money to be made off of a certain piece of land, when there's no money to be made off of a certain side of town, it gets ignored.
I had this conversation with my wife yesterday. I told her I had this is a conversation. So you know that train streetcar rail line is coming down Baker Road,
right?
I said, what if this grave site was near Johnson C. Smith, well, closer to Johnson C. Smith, and all of a sudden, some of those houses got torn down and rebuilt. Man, it would have been. This has been on the news years ago. And they would have been there and cleaned up everything, and people would have utilized their resources, and just because it's a little further down the road, like 20 years is gonna be changed anyways. Let's just be real about that. True that. 20 years that neighborhood will be gentrified.
Can I say one thing? Because this is important to say. The residents around Cedar Grove,
they dropped the ball.
They need to be put on blast too.
Yeah.
That is absolutely unacceptable. Yeah. That is absolute. If you live in a neighborhood and your family member is buried in Cedar Grove and you see it in that condition and you don't speak up, that's on you too, man.
Well, to close this out, for anybody that's watching or anybody that's listening, especially if you're here in Charlotte locally, I'm urging all of you guys to, you know, get on the phones, get on your laptops, get on social media, and put the city government on blast. Email the city council, email
county council too.
If it's anything government,
it's time to make this a thing.
Let them know. And if you want to see the pictures and some of the videos, you can do a hashtag search on Facebook for Cedar Grove, or you can go to my professional page, just type in Vince Dunlap, and you'll see your bearded realtor right there front and center. And just like you'll see all those videos, you see all those pictures, and
before we move on, there are a few more like that in Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's the sad
one
part.
off of Mallard Creek.
Yep.
Where they found hundreds of bodies buried on top of each other. They were going to build a top golf on that land too, but there are several more in the Charlotte community.
This isn't a one incident thing. This is all throughout the city of Charlotte and the county of Mecklenburg. But to close this out, let's go ahead and move on over to our shout outs. So Rodney, what you got?
Shout out Mr. Lee Johnson.
Okay.
For bringing this to light initially. We're here with you. We're going to help you out. And then also I want to give a shout out to... This is not really a shout out. This is a shot at to those parking places next to the Panther Stadium.
Ooh, we should have talked about that.
To park, $60 to park. You're the reason why I didn't go to the game on Thursday. You probably saved me, but I was literally going to park. I was like, man, I'm going to the game and get a last minute ticket. You know, the ticket prices fall. I was like, yo, $60 to park? I'm not even going to spend $60 for a ticket to go to the game.
$60 to go watch that?
To go watch that product? Well, guess what? The Panthers are sucking this year. You ain't got to worry about people paying $60 a part. It's going to plummet. And guess what? This is a shot at Vince. A suburban stadium isn't going to help.
Vince will not be getting on that soapbox this time. Vince is not getting on that soapbox. He's going to let Rodney have his shine today, and we'll do this in 2 more weeks. All right, what you got, Jamal?
First of all, man, seriously, shout out to y'all too. I'm dead serious, man. Shout out to y'all too for bringing awareness to this. I'm gonna call it the Cedar Grove Project because I'm gonna speak it into existence that this is gonna be a thing, and because it needs to be, because it's absolutely disgusting. Shout out also to the University of Texas and how you helped that. I don't know if y'all heard the story about the little boy coming to school. He had a
Tennessee.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. University of Tennessee. The little boy came to school. You know, he didn't have an official T-shirt. They pretty much laid out the red carpet for the little boy. So shout out to y'all. And
they've offered him a full scholarship.
Yeah, so good stuff, man. And my final. I'm not. What was the word? Shot at. Whatever. I have 3 words.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Damn it.
Don't do
I'm
it.
sorry.
Do it.
Fire Willie Taggart.
and I left it alone. Today. I wasn't gonna say anything. I left it alone. I
wouldn't even try to poke. I did a little poke, but not a big poke.
All right, so I got 2 shout-outs. So my first one obviously would be to Rodney and everybody that came out there to help me with the Cedar Grove project yesterday. I had no expectation who would show up, how many would show up, but if all of y'all didn't show up yesterday, the work they got done definitely wouldn't have got done. So I appreciate all you guys for coming out there, spurring the moment essentially, because I didn't put the event on Facebook until Thursday. Yeah, and I'm still hurting right now. So after we get done recording, I am going home. I will be asleep by like 4 o'clock today. But my last shout out, I'm going to keep in the house, and I'm going to give a shout out to our quasi producer, Mr. Tyrone Kaiser Kirk. If you got, depending on how long you guys have been following the show, he's been on the show a few times. He fills in when one of us can't make the show.
Time, man.
He doesn't like.
He don't like being on camera, man.
He doesn't really like being on camera, but
he'll be on camera in 2 weeks when I'm not here.
One thing I wanted to let you guys know about Kaiser. Before we started Under Construction, I only knew Kaiser through social media. He was a Facebook friend. He was an Instagram friend. We started Under Construction, and Kaiser hit us up, and he said, "Hey, I've been watching y'all shows. I like what y'all doing.
Lifesaver.
I want to do my part to help." So he invited us to his house, and for the last 3 months or so, we've been recording at his house. This is his man cave, and he does our mixing, he does our audio, and if you are doing podcasts, if you're doing YouTube or videography in any way, you know what it takes to shoot something with the camera and then get it to the point on putting it on social media. And by Kaiser inviting and offering himself to help with this project, it has taken so much whatever off of my shoulders, and for lack of better words, like he's been a godsend. So I just felt like I needed to put that out there. No doubt, so man. Kaiser, I appreciate it.
And he's one of the best MCs in Charlotte.
And check out the Disquietude podcast.
Check out his other podcast.
James plug Disquietude podcast. So.
There you go.
Right. So thank you guys for listening.
I do have one
okay.
I'm shout out.
Okay,
I want to shout out all the grown men who are so concerned with what other grown men wear.
Oh boy. Lord have mercy.
No, let's change.
I wish they could all dress like Carson Wentz.
No, let's change that to grown people, not grown men.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
Look. I don't care what our quarterback wears, and you shouldn't either if your quarterback has ranked somebody. If your quarterback has never played a whole season. If your quarterback doesn't have a winning record. If your quarterback has never won a Super Bowl, shut up.
Shut up.
To quote Queen Gertrude from Hamlet, methinks the lady don't protest too much. I think that's how it is with a lot of these dudes. Grown dudes should not be concerned with what other dudes.
Look, man, because I am not going to call names, but there are some of y'all who have posted literally over 20 memes this week. Please find something else to do with your time. There's more to life than finding Cam Newton.
Like, you a Cowboy fan? Like, look, talk about Dak's good game. Like, you worry about Cam? Like, you in his closet with him?
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be a topic next week. This will be. We're gonna
really talk about this.
This will be a topic next week. So once again, appreciate you guys for listening. Appreciate y'all for watching. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and follow Under Construction across all platforms. And we'll see you guys next time. All right,
3,000.